What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Thursday, May 15th edition of Speaker Co-working. I am Ron Story, the head of membership and product at SpeakerHub. And I'm joined today with Angela Lewis, our head of operations. Exciting times. I got a really cool thing we're going to talk about today. We got also a cool email going out today that I think is going to be incredible. So yeah, we got some cool stuff we're working on. We recorded a training yesterday that was like mind blowing. We'll get into that a little more. I don't want to bury the lead. Any new wins? Any wins from anyone that's on the call so far? So far this week, last week, I saw a training from Darren on LinkedIn. He had some photos. I think he was at an association. A lot of people that like you could tell people were listening because they be leaning forward. You know, Darren had the crowd leaning in, man. They was checking him out. I don't know if it was a Rotary Club or something. I saw like one of those banners or something like that that looks like Rotary. But that was good photo, good action shot of Darren growing. So Lawrence, what's up, man?
Yeah. So my win is that I was asked to speak back. Yeah. I was asked to come back to an organization I spoke to before where their their main focus is on helping teenagers who have gun charges, who are nonviolent offenders, get their record expunged because a lot of them, grow up in a bad neighborhood and they illegally get a firearm just to protect themselves, not to hurt other people, and they happen to get stopped by the cops. So they want to bring me back so that I can inspire them and help them to realize that no matter how bad the environment you were born into is, you're able to make a way out. And more often than not, you can easily find people who came from that environment, like the J. Cole's and the Jay Z's and the Beyoncé's and the basketball players and the engineers and even Obama. You could say Obama. They all were able to overcome their situation. I was able to overcome mine, and it's a great thing for them to bring me back because it lets me know that I did such a great job that months later they still remembered me.
No, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. That's super duper 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 important. Repeat business is always good, right? It's a vote of confidence in you, and I think it shows a relationship. I think a lot of times, for lack of better words, we kind of treat them like one night stands. Oh, I spoke here, I spoke there. Yeah, but how do you get them to get you to come back, right? How do you get them? How do you build a relationship? One of our, if you look at the Pro Speaker Summit. Videos from October, there's a guy named Stan Pearson, and Stan talks about how an association in Virginia he's spoken at for the last 10 years, right? So that is a source of revenue that he's been able to count on for 10 years. And he said his fee has gone up over 10 years. So it's not like they're still paying him what they were paying him 10 years ago. That relationship is strengthened and he's their go-to guy for what he does. So that's a big deal. Jasmine, go ahead.
Yesterday was very exciting. I jumped off and I had a podcast interview with this person. Then I did the podcast with this individual. Then they wanted me to be interviewed by two other human resources professional individuals. And the discussion went for an hour and 25 minutes yesterday, well, almost an hour and a half, in crafting a 6-month program with their company and corporate training using the burnout framework. And it was like, it's just a matter, I mean, it's not etched in stone yet, but it's just a matter of saying they wanted 6 months based on the training. I had to go through a snippet of the training and how I used the burnout framework. And they're quite exciting. It would be for the September, because companies have already purchased, done their budgeting for this. But the fact that they wanted two different people on two different tiers in the company
Mhm.
to speak to me yesterday on a 6-month contract.
No, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. And
Yeah.
this is with a company, right? A corporate
Yes, a
company.
corporate company, an HR individual that represents a corporate company. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I did the interview, the 15, 20 minutes with the HR person.
Hmm.
Then I did a podcast for the HR person. Then they brought it to the company. And then the company in two different tiers wanted to meet with me yesterday.
Yep. And
So it's
Jasmine, I owe you $3. I'm gonna tell you
why?
why I owe you exactly $3.
Why?
Because when I talk about what our topic is today, it's gonna make a lot of sense. So
Oh, okay.
just remember, I owe you $3 Canadian, not
No,
three
I want
US
US.
dollars.
I don't work in
Those are
Canadian dollars.
the Canadian ones. I mean, the US ones are too expensive. We're gonna give you $3 Canadian.
No.
I got you.
It's only going to cost you $1.50 US.
Hey, look, I'm smarter than I look. That's why I was clarified what types of dollars they were going to be. So that's a big deal. No, high five. I'm coming back to you on that. So just hold on with me. Um, Cardist, what's up, man?
Nothing much. I didn't know this was a win until Jasmine started talking. I was on a meeting yesterday with all of the HR professionals from my college that like are working in HR now. Yesterday, so like got a lot of new leads that way. And on that call as well, I was able to speak with the career development lead director at the college that I went to. So that's on both levels, the kind of like new employees, all that stuff I'm able to talk to now for a variety of different companies around the country. And I'm being able to promote like the classes and the teaching before they get out of college, so they have a run of start to go into working or whatever, and how to be better leaders on campus. So like super excited about that. Didn't realize it was
Cardist.
lead until the
Hey, hey, look, man. Again, it's perspective, right? If you sometimes we're in the forest and the trees get in the way. Right? It's like we're in the forest. We're like, man, no, I mean, I can't see the forest because all these trees are in the way. Yeah, that's it. It's the perspective. If we start to recognize that there are leads and opportunities right in front of us, but we just say, oh yeah, I just had that conversation with them. No, hey, dude, that's a big deal. Like that turns into something else. So, so a quick announcement that I'll take 5 minutes to run into. You all will get an email today about something that I think is super duper important. It's our most requested thing, which is how do I get corporate consulting gigs? So, yesterday I recorded an hour and a half training with someone that I trust that knows corporate consulting better than anybody else I know. Everybody who's out there selling corporate consulting trainings were his clients, or I should say our clients, because we had a business where he taught and I did the pitching on the bottom side. I did the email outreach. And so what we did is that we spent an hour and a half walking through how do you land a corporate gig. And he offers, at the end of it, we offer an opportunity for people to get weekly training with him on how to get those corporate gigs. And it was just amazing to sit back and to listen and to hear like what Jasmine just went through, right? And how do you deal with that? Why is a corporate consulting sales meeting totally different than you trying to sell your stuff to a client, right? When you're trying to sell to a client, you're trying to close, right? When you're trying to sell to a corporation, you're trying to understand what they want. They have buyers. Do you see what I mean? It's different providing to a buyer that's buying or someone in procurement that's buying from you versus you trying to sell them on something. They already know what they want and they just want to know if you can do it. The other person really don't know if they want your stuff, so you got to give them all the pros and cons and it flies, it dies, it slices, it dices. You got to sell all the stuff. That's not how you sell corporate. That's how you get kicked out of the meeting, right? So we go through that. We walk through like what was the difference, and we talk about a lot of the mistakes that we watch people make, and we found that there's some very key things that I think those who are on this call already have in place. The number one determining factor in getting hired as a corporate consultant that we found is third-party validation, right? Social proof. So we looked at a few websites, and we go to one website, and the person is saying, I do this, I do that. I've helped companies to 3x their revenue. I help companies to scale to 7 figures. Microsoft makes 12 figures. What the heck they need your 7 for? They don't care about your 7. 7 figures, they spend that on toilet paper. So like the language is totally different when you're dealing with corporate versus someone else. Does that make sense? So I want to show you an example of this, right? And I'm going to use a crude example, but it's a good one. And so I'm going to take my webpage, and I'm going to do this with me. And can you all see my screen here? You can see my screen, right? So I want to do a quick little example. So let's pick a company. So who do y'all, what's a company you all think we should, let's go to Fortune
Apple.
500. Let's pick a company on here from Fortune 500, right? And let's see who's on there. And we'll just pick one. Fortune 500 list. Let's see. All right. Walmart, Amazon, Apple. These people are being knuckleheads. I gotta get past their paywall. Give me a second. Don't all right, right? So let's use Suzanne, right? Suzanne, which one of these companies would you like to consult for? Amazon, Apple, Walmart, United Healthcare, Berkshire, Alphabet. We can't hear you.
United Healthcare.
United Healthcare, right? So let's go, right? And let's see, what does it say? United Healthcare, right? And let's find out what they do. And let's go into Wikipedia real quick. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean. This is going to be super cool. So, United Healthcare Group, right? So, I'm going to come into ChatGPT, and this is just a demo, guys, right? This company is looking for a consultant, right? I'm going to upload 2 different websites of consultants. Which one is best for this company? And this is going to be good because I'm going to show you why this works. So I'm going to use my own website, me, Ron. Can we tell Carlos that the www ain't up on my site for some reason? www doesn't point. And watch this, HTML to PDF. Let me go into Seja and get a PDF of my website. So I'm just going to take my basic website as a PDF and I'm going to upload it into there. And then I'm going to take someone else's website and we're going to compare the two, right? Now, I know who's going to win this, but I got to do it just because I think it's super duper cool, right? So let's see. All right, that's me. Download. Cool, right? So let me come over into my Chat GPT and I'm going to upload both of them. So I got Ron's story, bam, and I have my good friend Lethea Owens. We're going to compare the two, right? Now, so these are the companies we be like, yeah, I want to consult with them. How does it work, right? So let's compare the two. Watch this. Right? Candidate 1, I'm an entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. Lead generation and sales. Weaknesses, no mention of enterprise, organizational change, or anything working. I primarily work with who? Bootstrappers. Is that true? Yes. 100%. Lethea Owens works directly with a lot of senior executives. Lethea is the better fit. Right? Now, let me show you the difference. Why is this important? When we go to Lethea's homepage, right off the bat, who does she have? Other corporate consulting, other Fortune 500 evidence in her logos. Do you all see that? When you go to her page, it says, oh yeah, she, Microsoft City, Ameritrade, just add United Healthcare, they gonna hurt. Do you see that right off the bat? The social proof is already there. So someone who goes to look her up, they already see that she's worked with these people. What did they say about my site? Right? What did they say about me? I work in lead generation and sales, right? I don't mention on my site at all that I do enterprise consulting. Right? I'm focused on individuals and small business owners, not corporate transformation. You see how the language is different? Right? Now, here's the funny thing is that I'm qualified to actually work with them. But my website doesn't communicate my strengths on how I can help them. What most people don't know is that I used to own 8 Allstate agencies. I ran 300 offices for Farmers Insurance. So I can go in and talk about what we did to grow those things, especially on the sales side, right? But my website doesn't communicate it when someone comes to the page. Do you see what I mean? So that first impression, when you send your pitch for whatever podcast or whatever speaking gig or whatever you're reaching out for, that first impression, you have to be speaking the language of the person you're reaching out to. So if you're wanting to do corporate, but you also do small business stuff, you better have a link to a corporate page that they can see the corporate work that you've done, or where you're talking the language that they talk. If Darren worked with high school kids and college kids, but he wants to move into corporate, he better have a link that talks about the corporate stuff. If he wants to lead with that and wants to be his new thing, that should be the first part, and the college stuff should be the second part. But you better lead with what you're good at. I don't do corporate on the large scale like that, so I don't lead with that. My clients are you guys. Do you see why that's important? That first impression. He was like, that's the biggest thing. They're going to click over it. And what we looked at, we said, well, look at the percentages of replies, because we had this, we have all the data from the emails. We looked at the percentages of replies to clicks to the website. They click to your landing page, they look at your website, and that determined if they replied. Very, very rarely did somebody reply without clicking to either to your website to see who you were or to your LinkedIn, right? So when you go on to LinkedIn, what does your LinkedIn say? Does that make sense? Like, are there logos showing? I don't want to beat it too much, but I want to just kind of say, like, first impressions matter. If you're trying to do the corporate thing, which we'll get into a little more, you got to be talking their language. That was the biggest thing. The other thing was when they Google you, what do they find? Are you on podcast? Have you written for any magazines or publications? Is anybody else validating that you know this stuff? Is there any other evidence that you know this stuff? Can I see you in a room? If you're going to try to do work with Keller Williams or whatever it's called. I was about to say Helen Keller. Keller Williams. That's totally the wrong thing. If you're going to work with Prudential or some other large company, have you talked with our people on a smaller scale before? That was another indicating factor, so that now when they see, oh man, he did a training for the Illinois Association of Realtors. So now going in to do consulting for Redfin would make some sense because he taught this already to some real estate associations. They brought him in to speak at an association event or conference. It's just the social proof that you can talk their language. This is from the sales side, guys. And why is that important? Because you can't deliver the goods if you don't make the sale. But you'll never get the meeting if you don't have on the right clothes. Is that fair? So that was just a big thing because we're like, oh, well, a lot of times when we talk with folks about going on podcasts, it's just, we've heard this a lot on this call and other calls. I've done podcasts, but it didn't turn into anything. We've all said that, right? I went on a podcast, it didn't turn into anything. It wasn't podcasting with a purpose. Once we introduced you all to the flywheel and we said, hey, by going on the podcast, now you can use those to get the association gigs. Now everybody want to go on podcasts because they want the proof to prove to the association they can get the gig. And then we said, no, you should do the local associations because that gives you your speaker reels. Oh yeah, I don't have a bunch of speaker reels. I do need to get some of these associations so that I can have my videos to get, you see how we have to line it all up? So if you're doing it without a purpose, of course it's not going to work. So what we found is that a lot of the people who were trying to get corporate gigs, they hadn't gone on any podcast. They hadn't done any association work. They weren't writing for anybody. So they didn't have the credibility. Go back to Jasmine. Jasmine said she went on a podcast. She met with the people. They understood what she was talking about. And then they introduced her to the, I want to bring you in. It wasn't, Jasmine was just out here wondering and they were, well, we're going to Google LinkedIn to find consultants that can come in to help us with a fitness framework. No, it was the proof that she already had. Is this making sense, guys? It was the proof that led to that 6-month contract. She had to show it in some way. When they Googled her, they saw she'd been on 85 podcasts since December. Somebody believe in what she's talking about. She talks about it with confidence. She has a framework that's easily understandable, implementable. So she had what thought leaders have. Does that make sense? How many of y'all have finally developed a framework? Right? So we got 3. We got to get your frameworks. Inside of SpeakerHub, we give you a sample one. You got to get it. Even, listen, let me tell you, you don't need one. Start with something basic that you can just say, this is foundational. And then you add around it. When we bought SpeakerHub, the speaker flywheel looked like junk. Since then, we've added 60 other frameworks to it. The flywheel is being modified as we speak. We're adding a 5th stage. Right now, the flywheel has how many stages? 4. Podcast, press, associations, conferences. What's the 5th? What do you think the 5th is? Anybody want to say?
I guess
What do you think
corporations. Would it be corporations? I don't know.
That's it. We add in corporations. There won't be data inside of SpeakerHub for corporations because it's too much and it's too many different people. But we will give you the individual leads to upload on your own. So for people who want to pitch corporations, you can say, I need to talk to the head of marketing for companies of this size, and we will just sell you that data. Does that make sense? Because the people who Jasmine needs to talk to is different than the people who Bonnie needs to talk to, which is different than the people that Darren needs to talk to, and different than the people that Suzanne needs to talk to. So we would just end up with this dirty pool of random leads versus saying, I need the learning and development director for insurance companies. Does that make sense? So we'll be able to get you all those things, but it completes the full flywheel now, right? It's something we've held off on, but I don't think we can do that anymore because if we're going to help you to build the business that you're trying to build, we got to give you all the tools. It's bigger than speaking. It's bigger than speaking. It's about the business. Why? Because that's what Stephen Covey, Simon Sinek, Tony Robbins, all of these folks are inside of corporate, but they sharpen their saw on the smaller things before they went into there. Is this making sense, guys? Now, that changes a couple things. Let me share something with you really quickly, because this is a big deal. Like, I'm talking about like a big deal. And we share it in the training. The training is free, so you all I'll send that out today. But this extends our timeline. One of the things that we went over was that corporate. How long do you think it takes for corporate? I've already kind of given it away, but how long do you think it takes to get a corporate gig a lot of times? Jasmine?
Sometimes between 3 to 6 months for because they don't just take you right off the bat. I had 1, 2, 3 interviews before it leads to this, and it still won't wrap up until September. So 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. When did the first interview happen?
This is now May. The first interview happened the middle of April. The first 15 minutes, then the podcast was the end of April, and then I have an interview this quickly.
Yep. So exactly. So implementation for these is actually 6 to 18 months, depending on the size of the company. The larger the company, the longer it takes.
You're correct on that, Ron, because like she said to me, she's gonna have me, she's trying to get it, they're trying to get me in for the September, but generally they give these write-offs in January. So even though she's given me a time of September, it could be January before, and then I go that 6 months with room open to do talks and wherever they have. So they're making a package that is hard for me to say no.
Yep.
It's almost like they're employing me kind of thing, but they're not employing me, kind of thing, right?
100%. So it's not you selling a program to them.
Yeah.
It's them ordering something from you. So a consultant, what's the difference between a consultant and an employee? Does anybody know?
An alarm clock.
What's that?
Bonnie. Use
alarm clock when they get up to go to work, right?
No, a consultant, in my definition, a consultant is someone that really just kind of takes an outside view on the inside of the organization to kind of help them streamline the things that they want to change. And an employee is just there implementing the changes that have come forth.
Yep. So the first thing is that consultants are strategic. They're not the implementers. They're the strategy people, right? But the second part of it is that they're more like Band-Aids in a lot of ways, right? Let me explain to you what I mean by that. They have a specific area of expertise that they're going to come in and provide strategic guidance on. And then when they're not needed anymore, they move on. And they know that it's temporary. Does that make sense? Like someone takes a job at a company, they think they're going to retire there sometimes, or they're open to retiring there but a consultant knows, hey, I only got 6 months to do this. I got 3 months. I'm coming in to do 5 trainings and then they may renew me. But I know going in from the beginning, I ain't got no pension, right? You see what I mean? Like I'm not misled to think that I'm going to retire here. So I'm a subject matter expert in a very small field, a very particular thing that they need strategic guidance on in that department or whatever. And I know it's temporary. Got it? So understanding that, when you think about what you're going into, you don't want to be like, well, I got this one, I'm good. No. That's going to end. So just know you're going to have multiples, and you may work with several companies on a strategic basis. So Suzanne, you're right on point about the separation between strategy and implementation. Right. So that training is going to be incredible. You all will get a link to it. It's going to be phenomenal. Well, it's already recorded. I already know it. So, but yeah, dude, it's freaking bananas. But I know that that's part of the bigger flywheel of what we're doing. Right. So why do I share these things with you before they're ready ahead of time? Because I will always want to be an example that your ideas and your intellectual property is constantly strengthening and evolving. So a lot of you all don't want to release your stuff because it's not the iPhone 16. But the name iPhone 16 means that there was 15 other ones before this one. 15 other versions before this one. And guess what's coming up in September? iPhone 17. They're going to come out with another one. Just like our flywheel is getting stronger. Just like our different frameworks, they strengthen over time as we get better at what we do and we find easier ways to help you guys. One of the biggest things that we were afraid of with this corporate thing is that it could end up setting the wrong expectations, right? Someone with no experience, they say, well, I signed up for the corporate training. How come I didn't get a corporate gig? Okay, show me the podcast you've been on. Show me the social proof you have. Show me where you have experience in a specific area of expertise. When ChatGPT came out, everybody was an AI consultant. Everybody. I do AI consultant. When DEI got kind of pooped on, everybody, I teach resilience. It's like, come on, man. A lot of people just follow these trends. And it's not that it's bad, but it's like if everybody's jumping on the same bandwagon, you all start sounding the same. I went to a investors conference because, as you all know, I buy small companies, and I went to this Black fund investors thing with this company. This foundation is worth about $14 billion, and they were trying to invest money with Black fund managers, and everybody had to go around and say what they did with their investment fund. And one after another, everybody said, we are an investment fund. We invest in Black and brown founders. You're like, shut up, right? Because they always saying the same stuff, and nobody sounded any different, right? And when they got to me, I just said, I don't have a fund. I invest my own money, and if that means that I invest in Black and brown founders, I'm the Black and brown founder, right? And everybody just laughed because it was a breath of fresh air. It wasn't this, I say the same thing as everybody else. And the guy who ran the thing, Michael says, hey, man, we got our one-on-ones today with the fund managers. I want to talk specifically to you because of how you describe what you do. And I read through all of your stuff. I looked you up. You got something. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I had no idea that they were paying attention, right? But it was just, I sounded different. Do you see what I mean? Like, I sounded different than everybody else that was just regurgitating or sound like they were following the bandwagon, right? So when we had all these people that were AI, I'm an AI consultant, and I would ask them, now we got AI in our stuff. I would ask them a basic question. How do you all do your embeddings? What are embeddings? Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a basic AI question for machine learning. Like the most basic. Vector embeddings. Very simple question. Everybody knows about that. If somebody tells me they do AI, I just ask that question. Why? Because it lets me know if they know ChatGPT or Claude, or if they actually know the machine learning side of the actual business. Because when you get in there with the CTO of Microsoft and you tell them that you're an AI consultant and machine learning consultant, and you start talking about ChatGPT and Claude, they just gonna walk out the room on you. I've had this happen to me, okay? And I wasn't doing consulting. I was doing a startup pitch competition. And they literally said, yeah, this is over. I said, shoot, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it, man. But it was my first one. It was my first competition, and I had misspoken about something. Does that make sense? So in these meetings, they not going to sit and wait on you. They want subject matter expertise on a particular thing. And you just have to show that you, number one, have the goods. And we go through the 5 steps. But the first one is, do I have the actual goods? Because They can smell the BS. They can smell the BS. All right. Go ahead, Jasmine. What were you going to say? You're muted. We can't hear you.
When I discovered the framework on SpeakerHub, I started using it right away. I think 2 days later, I had a podcast and I opened my desktop computer and I mean, she was so blown away that for, the word wellness, I had something, wellness starts with this and E and it's right down to the end. And she's like blown away. Like, oh my God, the framework, like to me, that just helped me in that podcast. So I've used now everything is a framework. I've crafted and priority my burnout framework. And I just weave into it. But I use it. I open my desktop when I'm doing the podcast. I don't think I'm reading something because I memorize it. But every now and again, somebody asks you a word and it just flies out of you, out of your head what you're going to say. But that framework is absolutely very important. And I
100%.
implemented it maybe 2 days after I discovered it on SpeakerHub.
If you don't have your own frameworks, high five. If you don't have your own frameworks, whose frameworks are you teaching? Let me ask that again. If you don't have your own frameworks, whose frameworks are you teaching? And the reason why I say that is because they're just going to go get the person whose stuff you teach it. A lot of speakers are parrots. The great such and such said this, and the great such and such said this. What did you say? How about you say something? Right? Now, take what these people have said. I've read hundreds of books. I used to read a book a week for like 10 years. I got 400 Audible books. I don't know how many YouTube videos. So I synthesize all the perspectives and then I come up with my own. Let me ask you this. Do you all believe that there's nothing new under the sun?
Yes.
There's nothing new. We all can believe that, right? If we believe that, then why are we trying to come up with something new under the sun? Just give your perspective on that thing that the sun is shining on. Let me say it again because some of y'all ain't going to get it. There ain't nothing new under the sun, so stop trying to invent something new. Just give your perspective on the thing that the sun is shining on. So if you're focused on consulting, give your perspective on consulting. If you're focused on speaking, at SpeakerHub, we give our perspective on speaking and how we think the speaking business should be built. Is this the only way? No, but it's the only way we gonna teach it. Do you see what I mean? It's Jasmine's wellness burnout. What is it called? What's the name of it? The burnout formula?
Burnout framework. Oh, I use the
Burnout
word.
framework. Is the
Oh, I
burnout
use-
framework the only way? No, but it's the only way Jasmine gonna teach it.
Because it's
Is
teaching.
is F42 the only way to do what Darren does? No, but it's the only way he gonna teach it. 7 Habits. There's a lot of other. James Clear came out with Atomic Habits. Is it the same as the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? No, but it's the only way James gonna teach it. Do you see what I mean? Because here's what our job is. Let me tell y'all this, because I don't think y'all get why we do this every day. I'm in the insecurity removal business. That's it. That's all my job is to remove your insecurities. That's it. Bonnie laughing, but that's really our job. We're here to give you frameworks that remove those insecurities, to give you the software that removes those insecurities, to give you everybody's email address. So you're like, look, if all 3.5 million of them say no, all 3.5 million podcasts tell me no, then something wrong with me. If all 200,000 associations tell me no, you see how we're just removing the insecurities. There's so much opportunity. Let me just get out of my own way so I can help the people, but also help myself. Right? So how do I do it? Let me show you. I make a public commitment. My friends know if I say I'm going to do something, I'm stuck. So I make these stupid public commitments. I'm gonna be on here every day. Damn it, now I gotta show up every day. We gonna build this tool. Damn it, now we gotta build this tool. We gonna do this thing. Damn it, now I gotta do it. Because they know I don't want to, I talk too much shit about people who don't follow through. So I be stuck. They be like, we got to get this dude to say he gonna do it so we know it's gonna happen. And I'll be like, nope. But I default to no. But when I say something, I have to remove my own insecurities. Is this making sense, Valencia? Right? So with this corporate thing, we just want to give you the armor that you need and the tools that you need to be able to get into it. But the biggest thing you need is perspective. And Suzanne, I saw your hand was up. You want to go ahead?
Yes, I just wanted to comment on what you were saying about in the business of, of dealing with the insecurities. And I want to say that that statement is very true and very recent, because that's why I'm here today. Because after yesterday, I wasn't really sure what I had created. So I went home and dashed in my office and signed in again. And I realized I don't know what I had done, but I went ahead and started completing the profile. And then I get up at 4 or 5 this morning and I'm ready to plug away and do some more. And I was actually been working on just plugging stuff in just to see what it looks like on the speaker side. And so it is true, because that insecurity is there. I know that I can do it. It's just, getting into those implementing stages of getting it done, to do it. Thank you. Take care. And so I not finished the page. I'm at 65%, but I think I'm still at that waiting that I'm not spam phase.
Oh yeah. No, we'll just have to, once you cross 50, it shows up on the thing and someone just has to approve it. But
and then I did the 30-day, which I intending to go ahead and let it charge me the $149 for the year once I'm done. So I just want to say that is success right there, just speaking on my own behalf.
High five. Welcome aboard. Like that's a big deal, right? Now, let me tell you why this is important. I didn't realize that was the business we were in until I started talking with y'all outside of here. Valencia was on the call, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. And then we spent 3 hours one day on a private call, just walking through everything. I said, oh, I know. Wait a minute. And then I met with Bonnie outside of here, and I'll meet with Jadika, and I meet with Jasmine. I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like I'm thinking that I'm got these magic bullets. That ain't it. They already got the bullets in the gun. I just got to give them the confidence to pull the trigger, for lack of better words. They're already good enough, right? But just nobody has told them they were good enough because they've been working on this privately in their own office. 99% of the time, not even in their office, in their own head. They've been in their own head, just bo, 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 bo. And it ain't, you see what I mean? Like it's in your head and you don't want to tell nobody because on the outside, your friends and family think she got her own business. They think you got it figured out. On the inside, we like, man, this is the worst decision. I want my job back. But that confidence is what leads you to pitch, right? The more pitches you send, the more confident you become because you start to get those replies that the world sees you a lot higher than what you see yourself. And then you start to realize, I got to redo my website because when I'm competing with Lethea Owens, I might lose. You see what I mean? Because that first impression that Lethea put out there, you're like, yo, Lethea, her website was banging. Like the company she worked with, holy crap, I better be ready. This is what it's about. So the speaker flywheel is being modified to add a 5th stage, right? So this will be extended out to 18 months. Again, I'm showing you how we're developing the frameworks right in front of you, and they will improve. We teach what we know, and as we get further down the street, we teach what we've learned. Again, teach what you know. As you get further down the street, teach what you've learned. We learn that there's a fifth stage here. Does that make sense? There's a fifth stage, the corporate side, and we're going to help you with it. Now, for those who are out there that are wondering, where did all of this start? And how do we get here? And I want to show you something because I think that it's really important for you all to see the origins of what we do. All right, so let's go to emerging. Got to find one of my old things, speaker update 2, product design, speaker flywheel. I think it's this, emerging. I think it's this one, right? Let's see. Yep. Let me go. Oh, I zoomed in. I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to do this, right? So let me go all the way over here, and I want to share something with you. That flywheel that you see started as this. It was actually worse than this, but this is what the flywheel started off looking like, Suzanne. You see that? But guess what? If it works, it don't matter what it looked like. And then it went to this, right? And then we got more colorful and we start separating the things. And then it starts to take shape, right? But this is over months, right? It didn't start off as what it looks like on the website. It started off as a crappy framework, but the principles were correct. Does that make sense? So your first edition won't look like the latest iPhone. Your first edition will look like junk. It's okay, but does it work? Right? Let me show you something. One second. This was the first PlayStation 5. A PlayStation 2 taped to a PlayStation 3. No, I'm joking. That's a bad joke. But the moral of the story, right? The moral of the story is that first edition, right? That ain't how the PlayStation 5 look. That's a bad joke. But you get the point, is that we start off iPhone, let's see, smartphone prototype. iPhone 1 demo. This was the original iPhone. Do you see that? That was the original one. This is what it looked like when they were testing it. This is what it looked like when it first came out. Here's another old prototype. It was looked like a Palm Pilot with a button. So you're not going to be perfect at the beginning, guys. What it looked like in demo, what made it to the stores. Does that make sense? So be easy on yourself. Someone said to me the other day, they said, this was John. John came on and he said, what would happen if you talk to another man using the same voice, tone, and words that you use when you talk to yourself? Man, you stupid. Man, I can't believe you did that. Man, you ain't ready for this. Man, no. If we talk to our kids or another person like that, what do you think will happen? And he brought it up as a man because we know as men, they ain't gonna let nobody say nothing stupid. Right? Sometimes the first speech or the best speech is the speech we give to ourselves. So tread lightly when you're working on things because you're treading on your own dreams. Right? So be easy on yourself. Give yourself some grace. One of my friends called me the other day and he was talking about his dad and he was saying, man, my dad is, he's having a tough time with this thing. And most people know I lost my dad and we had kind of a crazy relationship and I had to get over that. And one of the things that I left him with on the call was, hey man, he's earned the right to do what he wants to do. He's raised a beautiful family. He's been great to you guys. If he wants to be a knucklehead right now, he's kind of earned that right, bro. And he said, man, you know what? He has. He's like, he did everything else right, raising us. If he want to be a knucklehead to us now, he's earned it because we were knuckleheads to him. But he hadn't given his dad the grace to be flawed in some ways in his older age. He wanted to still hold him to the my dad is Superman standard. We got to give ourselves some grace to build and to get better. That's all that I'm saying. I tell you every day, it's the worst I'm gonna ever be. So if they hate us now, guess what? Guess what? They really gonna hate me in 6 months. Any questions? Was this helpful? The corporate thing is a part of it. It is going to be bananas. I promise you. Right?
Coming soon.
The email comes out today. Email goes out today. It was recorded yesterday. There's already 800 people in the community of this already. It was started last July. Out of the 800 people in the community, only 3 have left. That's how good it is. Only 3 have left since July. 3. It's totally cheating, right? It's totally cheating. And the results, we watch the results. You get access to the community, you get to see, just got booked here, just got this, just had a meeting with this person. Anybody got a template for this? Anybody got a thing for that? It's all in the community. You can log in and see it all. It's been working since July. Again, it's a project that I'm an advisor on. I don't own it, but I am an advisor on how it works. And but this is, everybody will get an email to the basic training, and then you'll have the opportunity to decide if you want to join the community or not. There are some incentives. Our lifetime people, there are some incentives to you guys too. But it's a game changer. Any questions so far? Any questions, comments? This is a big deal,
Like
guys.
$3.
$3. Yo, $1.50 US. I got you. I'm gonna cash app it to you. But I don't think Canadians can accept money from Americans anymore. So you got to wait until y'all prime minister released the tariffs. Y'all got an embargo against the United States, so I can't send you anything just yet.
Yes, you can.
All right. So, any other questions, comments? This has been good, dude. I'm super duper excited.
I
can't wait.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I wrote some notes as I was working on this today. What does BOFUM stand for?
Oh yeah, both of them. Like when they say. Wait, I didn't get to explain it. See, again, I just removed the insecurities. You see that? That is a great example. Now I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. About my idea of removing insecurities. My friends, when I used to be very, very, very into the church and religious and used to preach on Sundays and do all this stuff. And I never used to talk about it. But now I just talk about it because I don't care. Right. Insecurity removal. Right. And when I first joined the fraternity, it was kind of a surprise to a lot of people because they were like, dude, we know you as this dude. The fraternity life ain't churchy. And I'm like, I don't really care, So people would come and we'll be out and about. They're like, man, do you mind if we smoke around you? And my joking reply to give them a little bit of levity was, oh, it's okay. I do cocaine. No, I don't. But anybody who says they do cocaine, they don't care about you smoking marijuana. Right? They're like, shoot, yeah, I know you don't mind at all. Because at the time, cocaine was a drug. And I don't do any drugs, but it's just the idea of going to an extreme to make the person feel a bit more comfortable about whatever they're about to do. Does that make sense? So who is trying to build a big business, and they're going to bring hood language, East St. Louis hood language to their frameworks. It's the both of them framework. Why? Because that's what I really want y'all to do. I want y'all to be a traditional speaker and an entrepreneurial speaker together. You should do both of them. Because that's how I say it. I don't say you should do both of them. That ain't how I talk. Do both of them.
You owe me 20 minutes of my life because I spent 20 minutes this morning trying to find out what that meant. And maybe you need to trademark that so when somebody does search that, they can come back to the SpeakerHub that draws them back. I spent 20 minutes, so you owe me 20 minutes of my life.
No, it just made a bigger impact because you already knew what it meant. You didn't trust your instincts.
US.
Huh? Well, I didn't hear what you said, Jasmine.
You'll give her $3 US, right? At least
There you go. I'll give you
$3.
$3. I'll send you $3, right? But she didn't trust her instinct that said both of them. We got it underneath it. Right underneath, it tells you what it is. Let me go here. Let me go. SpeakerHub. Look at this. Right underneath. What did it say? Combine what? Both of them. Don't you see that? You got to unmute. What'd you say?
I totally missed that. And you know what? Here's the thing: is clearly what you have been sharing with us is that sometimes I think we're looking so deep in the well that the water is already at the surface. And I was looking for just in a deep explanation.
Ain't no magic bullets, guys. Ain't no 3 secrets to this. There ain't no 3 secrets. They all lead back to one: work, pitch more. 3 magic bullets to this. Yeah, okay. That's for the person looking for the secret so they can buy whatever they're selling. But in reality, got to tell more people that you got a product to offer. You can choose to be a traditional speaker. You can choose to be an entrepreneurial speaker. Or you can do, what is it called, Suzanne? What is it? Go ahead.
Both of them.
You can do both of them.
I don't
exactly.
know if my Connecticut will let me just say both of them.
But you get it. You get it. You can do both of them.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate the relaxation that you have in expressing yourself in your business, because it helps us to understand that, like, we don't have to be so super deep in what we're trying to do, just be who we are.
That's it. That's what they buy.
Yeah.
You weren't here the other day, but we taught this on Monday. Customers buy you first because you don't have any results at the beginning. So they're just, does she seem trustworthy? Does she seem credible? Does she seem like somebody I like? Is she going to follow through on what she said? So they're buying you first. Once you get some results, then they buy the results that you promised. So when Jadika signed up for SpeakerHub, she couldn't even sign into the software. She bought it on faith that I would give it to her, right? She couldn't even log in, but she signed up, paid for it, and said, he said he's going to give it to me, I'm going to get it. Several people bought it that way ahead of time. Does that make sense? Because they trusted me. I met with them. I sold them me and my word. Now that she's been using it, other people see her results and they're buying Jadika's results using our system. This person, every day we do wins. I got booked for this. I use what Ron said on this. I use what Darren taught me about this in this meeting. You know that one thing I told y'all about? Look at what it turned into. That's the results. Is that making sense? The next thing that they buy is the processes. That's the framework. Because at the beginning, you just kind of figured it out. Then you get the result. You're like, okay, this tastes right. Let me write the recipe. Girl, I can cook. You ever made lasagna? I think, right? I think I can try it. I made pasta. If it's just pasta in the oven with long pasta instead of skinny pasta, I can probably make some lasagna, right? They tasted your regular pasta before, Suzanne, Valencia, they tasted it. So they said, well, maybe she could make, girl, you should try to make lasagna. This would be good as a lasagna. Y'all know, my mom would talk like that. Girl, this would be good as a cake. This bread pudding is good. But if you took that same thing, it would be a good cake. All right, mama. Right. Right. So you try to make the lasagna. People try the lasagna. They're like, man, this lasagna is great. Cool. How do I scale this up? What's the recipe? What did I put in there? Out of the 10 that I tried, which one do I want to keep going with? Is that making sense? They buy you, they buy the results, and then they buy the process. At the beginning, I had to get on there, talk to people, sold it individually. Then now people come and sign up on the website. They're buying you guys' results. Now they go and they buy the lifetime accounts without ever talking to me. They buy the process because they've seen the results. Let me show y'all something. I can't wait till y'all see this page. Maria's working on this. She probably gonna hate me for showing this. But we got this members page. And this thing, if we get them all in there, this is only from like last week's stuff. This page is gonna be bananas because we're taking all of the results from the last 155 meetings and putting them all documented on the page. I saw this guy do this with this company called Basecamp, and I said, we got that. Real world results. Look at this. If this isn't convincing that this software does whatever it says it's going to do, look at this. This one page worth of just results from their customers. Right? Ain't that cool? I said, we could do that. Now, we ain't got as many as them yet, but we got some. So we're going to put ours out there. And over time, guess what? We're going to end up with 18,000 just like these people got. And this is just the first page. It's multiple pages, which is bananas, right? Like they just keep going. It's insane. But it all starts with one. I had one Janika, right? We had one lifetime account at one point. Then we got more. All I'm saying is build it in front of people. Let them see you grow. Lawrence, go ahead.
So yeah, I have another win that just happened. So I believe it was Kevin who mentioned it, the thing about high response rates when you include your phone number.
Mm-hmm.
So since I've been doing that, some of the associations that email me back have asked me, is that your personal number? And instead of going through the effort of a calendar link and all of that, they just say, hey, are you free in 15 minutes to get on a phone call? So
How cool is
that's what you say?
So how cool is that?
Very, especially when it's the person who just contacted me is the president of a place called NAMI, which is the National American Mental Health Institute. They specialize in helping teenagers and young adults overcome mental health challenges, which is exactly my demographic of people. So I emailed the info center, and then the president of that location said, you want to get on a call?
There you go.
So I'm about
How
to do
dope
that
is
in a
that?
couple minutes.
High five, man. We got you. We got you in our prayers, man. Knock that out. They need you. They need you, bro. And you got to believe that on the call. They need you, right? They need your help. Dude, it's bananas. Like, it's amazing what happens when you just do the work. So, any other comments, guys? Sorry for Susan for confusing you with both of them, but you already knew what it meant, you know? You already knew what it meant. Lawrence, high five on your gig. Jasmine, high five on the corporate consulting. Darren, on your Rotary meeting that you had. Like, dude, this is an amazing group of folks, man. I can't wait. Imagine where we're going to be in 5 years. And I'm not talking about SpeakerHub. I'm talking about us. Imagine where we all go be in 5 years. The number of people we will have impacted, the way that you would have changed. People will watch the old videos of Darren talking about what he wants to do 5 years from now. They'll be like, that was such and such. Holy crap. Go ahead, Darren. What's your comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to share with the listeners or new people, man. I thank you guys for helping me out with the website, Ron. It was about a couple of months ago, right?
Mhm.
And I don't
You
know
want
if
to show it
that's
to us?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
But I met with I visited a
Maria?
school yesterday,
Okay.
and the school, I just went in and went straight to the decision maker. Actually, they bring in speakers. The lady wasn't there, but she left her information, and I followed up with a phone call and an email, and she said, "Yes, I'll look at, I'll get back to you." So long story short, she emailed me back like 3 paragraphs, like, "Hey, yes, you definitely can help our students and staff. I saw your website." So, I want to just let people know, man, like, don't be afraid to ask for help on here because, yeah, it felt uncomfortable, but it's helped me out a whole lot, man. So I don't know if you can see
Darren,
that.
no, it looks good. Looks good. I'll check it out outside of
Yeah,
here too.
that looks good. Yeah.
So the one thing that I know about Darren is that Darren is coachable, right? He's the coachable coach. He's never been afraid to ask us for feedback, to be vulnerable in front of the group. Like, yo, I'm going into this thing. What do I say? And the community has been great of sharing. Hey, here's what you say. I was in that situation. Here's what I would do, and blah blah blah. This ain't about me, guys. This is about us. I don't know everything, right? I'm not a guru. I'm a guide, right? Now, why is that important? A couple of months ago, we talked about um, uh, what's his name, Joseph Campbell, and the hero's journey, and we looked at the Allstate commercials. Y'all remember that? And mayhem. That your job is not to be the hero in the story. Your job is to be the guide. You're not Luke Skywalker. You're Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're Yoda. You're the guide that just leads him through that part of the journey. Your customer is the hero in the story. Does that make sense? So, yeah, that's part of it. Just that's how we got to look at our customers. That, hey, look, my job is just to guide you along. I'm flawed. Yes, I used to be the church dude, and I cuss. Okay, deal with it. Do you want to get these gigs or not? If you're gonna let that stop and get in the way of your dreams, you got a problem, right? You can do both of them. You can go to church and cuss. You can do both of them. That's my mama.
Yeah.
She do it all the time. Mama, don't watch this. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I can see my minister dad in heaven going, you don't be telling my daughter that, but then he'll see all the other stuff I do anyway, so it's a wash.
Hey, hey, look, that's what forgiveness is about. So, any other questions, guys? This is good to see you, Darren. Any other questions? This has been fun, man. I look forward to these calls every day. Even some days when I be sick, I'll be like, I'm gonna come to. I got to do my call, man. Any other feedback? Any other comments? Trinessa, has this been helpful for you? She may be away from her desk. But Suzanne, welcome aboard. We know if you come back twice, we got you. So we know you stuck over here now. They done locked the doors.
Well,
I'm
definitely gonna come back because I'm working on figuring all this out. So
we got you. Invite some friends,
Yeah, I will.
Invite some friends. Well, if there's nothing else, guys, this was good. Larry Lundy, I see you're on here. Are you free later this evening? I owe you a call from about 2 months ago. We were supposed to get together to talk about some different things. Are you free this afternoon? My calendar is free this afternoon. If you got time this afternoon, I got some stuff we can work on. Cool.
Yeah, I love Scrappy. Yeah, let's go.
So I'm free. Can you give me 2 p.m. this afternoon?
Central Standard Time.
Central. Yep, I'm on Central.
Yeah.
I'm on Dallas time.
All right, talk to you then.
All right, we'll hop back in the same room at 2 p.m. All right, thanks. All right, guys. I'll see
Quick
y'all tomorrow.
question, Ron.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jasmine.
What do you do with the leads that are in a totally different language? I have quite a few. Like this one is in, know what it is. Ashkan Basha. I don't know. Just let it be.
You speak that language?
I don't know what language that is.
Don't pitch it.
I can't even figure out. I don't know
don't
what it
pitch it.
is.
Share it with me. I want to see.
You see? Okay.
I mean, because we got conferences and associations from all over the
So
world.
this is in a podcast on the human resources. Okay, share.
Yeah, I mean, they're from all over the world. So they usually will write it in their native language. There's some in there that are in German, some that are in Dutch, some are in Portuguese, some
Yeah.
are in English.
Okay, where's my SpeakerHub? I'm logged in somewhere else. Oh, I forgot I can move this around. You have to give me notice so I can familiarize myself with moving this toolbar around so you can see. I was opening a whole different on a whole different computer. But okay.
All right, you
Are you
ready?
there?
Yeah,
So
but you got to share.
I'm gonna log into my
Okay,
SpeakerHub here,
cool.
and I'm going to
Go up to the top.
log in. Move that out of the way. And go to Google.
Googly. See?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Googly moogly.
Jazzy how? Everything's a little slow today. I don't know why.
Got to pedal faster on that Canadian internet. We done put a tariff for y'all internet. It's gonna slow down.
Oh God, with the tariffs. You should see it was the biggest real estate thing yesterday. All we would talk about, they were talking about was tariff and what's gonna happen. So you go to podcast, and then I go up here, filter, and then mine is human resources. And then I'm gonna go, huh? Don't you like it from the first time I went on, how I can just
Oh
move
yeah,
around?
now you're a pro now.
I'm a pro now. There he is. I'm a pro now. Look at that. Don't know who he is, what he is. Can you see it, or should I move this around?
Yeah. Well, click play.
So, huh?
Click play.
Okay. Add, yeah.
No, play. Like you see the episodes are on the right. No, don't add it to a list. Just
Yeah.
click the play button, the circle play button.
Is it German or Sweden?
No,
It's probably German.
Jasmine, over on the
Yeah.
right, you see it has the episodes.
Okay, well, let me move this out of the way then so I can see that. Oh, let me move. How can I move you out of the way now?
Just click on it and drag it. I guess I can't see it.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to. Okay. So we're over the right here.
Over on the right, you see the description.
Yeah.
Click play.
Yeah, I clicked.
All right, and when it plays, all right.
Did you hear it?
I think you paused it.
Okay.
All right, what language is it in?
Und schon wieder im Ja klar Podcast und diesmal mit keinem geringeren als Gero Hesse. Gero, guten Morgen, ich grüße dich.
Okay, so go ahead and pause it.
Ich freue mich.
All right, you ready for that interview in that language?
No, I'm not.
So
just archive it.
Yeah, just skip it.
Skip it. So yeah, so anyone, and I think this one too is
yeah, just skip it. Just go to a
just
different
skip
one.
them. Yeah. Okay.
Right, because I mean they're just different languages. But look, you see where it says language?
Mm-hmm.
Click
Can I
on
change
language.
that into English if I want to?
Yeah, just click on it. It's not going to break. You can't break anything on the page. Click on language.
Where is that? Where's language?
Under filters at the top.
Okay.
You see you're in filters where it has where you click show only uncontacted. You see that?
Point right, left, north, south.
Okay. Go straight to the search bar where it says human resources, where you typed in human resources.
Okay.
Now go down, you'll see genres underneath that.
Yeah,
right?
show only uncontacted, right?
And
yeah.
then go over to the left. There's a thing that says language.
Okay, filter podcast. Language, yes. And then if I use that and I go down and I type English, it would.
Yeah, you can type it in there. Just type in English.
Okay.
ENG. Yep. Click there. And click on filter.
Error, get in the podcast. Please try again later.
Okay, so I don't know what that error is. Let's try it again. Click on episodes.
Okay.
I just want to see what comes up. Maybe we found another bug. No, just click on episodes, like the back over in the filters.
Go on.
Here, let me see something. 1 second. It's going to be easier. All right. I just asked to control your screen. Could you give me
Yeah.
control?
Proof? Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You can control my screen anytime, Ron. You're faster than I am.
Right.
Angela, look at you down there in the bottom
So
left.
there it is. So you can
I
see
have to
now it's bringing
control
up the
these
Human
two people
Resources
fast.
podcast,
Yeah.
right? And then if we go over to podcasts that are in English, there it is. So now it's bringing up the HR podcasts that are in English. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Okay. So what language was it? I didn't even know I had it on a different, a specific language. No, I just made sure I specify only those that will come up, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you could just skip them. Like you going through a bunch of stuff just to skip to the next ones. Just skip.
Yeah.
You can just skip. You're not required to pitch something because it showed up on your screen.
No. I don't even know what it is. I've been doing that. I just figure since this one was right there in front of my eyes and you're right there, I figure I'll ask.
Yeah. So there's 420.
I've been skipping.
There's 420 podcasts that are on HR.
Yeah.
And yeah, just skip them. And then let's go down, load more. All right. So you may have pitched all the HR podcasts.
I push them especially because there's another HR.com that
Yeah, you may have pitched them all already, Jasmine. But yeah, so I don't want to if we want to talk more about this, I don't want to hold everybody else up.
Yes, and I have to go as well too. So
But good to see everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. This has been good. But this corporate consulting thing, I think, is going to be a huge opportunity. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye-bye.
Your mama, good to see you back again.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you. We're actually at the end of the call. You're a little late today, but come back tomorrow. We'll be here, okay? We want to get an
I
update
just
on how
want
things are
to
going
tell
with
you
your
one
books.
thing.
Go ahead.
I'm so proud of. I have just shared a podcast on YouTube with Daniel Rosentine, and he invited me via my website and via my social links, and I joined him. I just want to share the link of that podcast, and I want you guys to see that podcast. I shared my whole story over there, how I developed and founded my company, Softologics, and all the resilience and all the how I overcome all those behaviors of people, and how I overcome that financial problems. And still I kept going, and by the grace of God, I signed my last 500 clients almost. I have done with 500 clients in all in my field. They are all related to my company. Somebody come for website development, and someone come for logo designing. So collectively I signed almost 500 clients, and that was a remarkable journey. So I shared all of my journey on that YouTube podcast, and I just came here to see you all guys, how you are going and how is everybody. I shared the link on your LinkedIn page, but I
Okay.
think it's still under approval stage.
Okay. Yeah. So the person who runs the group, they'll approve that for you. If you want to put it in the link in the chat here, I'll check it out
Yes,
myself
I
personally.
just want to put the link, and I of that podcast. People are seriously liking it, and people are asking me to join the some kind of podcast and some kind of this sort of things. So I'm planning to make my own channel regarding these podcasts, and I really want to invite all the people over here on your platform to have one-on-one podcast sessions with me, if
That'll be
anybody is
great.
interested.
Come back tomorrow when everybody's here, and then just talk about it then.
Yeah,
It starts
sure, sure.
it's at noon Eastern tomorrow. So just come back tomorrow, and then there's more people because we're at the end right now, and I gotta hop off. But come back when
Sure,
there's
sure,
the larger group, and we'll go through it. Okay?
sure. Okay, the chat option is still open?
Yeah, just put it in the chat, and I'll check it out right now. Go ahead and put it in there.
Oh, yes, I am opening the link. Just if you just give me 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, you can see the live podcast on YouTube.
Yep, I got it here. Turning rejection and failure into a superpower. We
Yeah.
got you. I'm going to check it out right now. All right, let me
Thank
hop
you.
off.
Thank you
I'll
so
talk
much.
to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Nice
guys.
meeting you all.